brilliant. New van time. And honest, this is cracking. But you know, it's not been a case of someone just going out and saying, oh, I like that van, let's get that one. There's been a load of effort going into this and lots of changes almost over a 2-year period, because we've looked at the science of this. In fact, that would be a good place to start. Let me ask you a question. What do you reckon the biggest risk to you is, an engineer? Well, you might be interested to know it's lifting and handling is the biggest risk of injury. But it's not just, it's in all industries. And when you look at the old concept, like the existing concept, when you think about it, you've got to go in and get all of the kit, haven't you? So, hey, do you know these like modern kitchens now, right? Can you remember when you open the door and you've got to pull about half a dozen things out to get a tin of beans or something like that? But the modern kitchens, everything comes to you. And that's the science that's gone into this. So it can help take the pressure off the body doing the job you're doing, where everything comes to you. But driving it as well, oh, this is better than my car. And there's like 60 billion gadgets on it. So what we want to do is have a look at changing and getting all the kit out of the existing vehicle into this one, because it's not as simple as what it's been in the past. You know, in the past you go, right, I can take all that kit off the top shelf and just hoy it into this one. Sorry, place, hoy's when you hoy it. Not as simple as this, because it's a new concept as well. And you know, guys, with a little bit of effort, honestly, ongoing, what a difference it's going to make on a day-to-day basis. Let's go and have a look, eh? Well, you know, when you look at this, when I open them up, I mean, it just looks so professional. You know, it's a great reflection of you and the service you provide. When you look at this, oh, and I know what you're going to say straight off. You said, my kit ain't going to fit in that. Honestly, it does, and some. You know, there's hundreds of you guys already done the changeover, and that's the concept of the day, learning from those changeovers to put it out so yours can be as seamless as possible. I mean, we've got the rack in here for all the plastic and the copper in there, the step ladders, the main ladders, but we've got rid of that dead space. See in here, we've got all of these that actually come to you. And for the third one at the back, we've got that drags it out. So, as I said, there's a lot of thought gone into this. You've even got a couple of cracking tote boxes here to put all those big tools in. And then spaces here, the vacuum. But the idea is think of this as moving house, right? And anybody who's done it knows what I'm talking about. You don't actually, when the removal van turns up on the day, think, oh, I better start packing some stuff. Now's the time to sort things out. See, you're going to get a good few weeks notice of, right, your new vehicle's coming on this date. That's when we need to start. Yeah, and you're now sitting there thinking, oh, have I really got to start and sort? No, you don't have to. But what a difference it'll make on the day if you do. It's that cracking American saying, isn't it? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. So start working through it, tidying up. You know, when some of those jobs have been postponed and you've been made to return the kit, now is the time to do it when you get that notification. So instead of having 4 hives on it, you can send 2 back and you've only got the 2 hives. You know, instead of having 16 toolboxes because you've got all of the materials in those, all your valves in the toolbox, they all fit in these. So you've just got the 1 toolbox. Get rid of the 15 axles. You know, just work it out and get a couple of rubble bags, because inevitably you will have some stuff left over. But where are you going to do this changeover? Talk to your manager. Work with them. Make sure you're starting to do the preparation for it and you've got the right time to do the changeover. And the place, work with them on that one. As I said, I think there's over 500 already done this, so we're not the only one going to be changing over. Your manager might go, I tell you exactly where you can go to do that. It might even be in the local meeting point. But work with him so we'd get it right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all the boxes out here. There's 25 of them. Get them laid out and see how we get all the kit from the existing van and stick them in here. So what the guys have found is this is the best way of doing it, because you can actually visualize what you've got. So think of this in the back of the vehicle, right? There's the top shelf, because the steps will go there. There's your middle shelf. There's your bottom shelf. So there's your 25 boxes, and there's the 2 big totes. But the interesting point is, the rear box, look, on the shelves, has no yellow handle on it. That's the one that you use the bar to pull out with. So common sense tells us straight off, the stuff we use very infrequently come in these ones. The stuff we're using on a fairly regular basis come in the front ones. And in some of them we've got these dividers. So that's my layout. So what I need to do now is visualize what goes in what. And you might do it parts, it might be manufacturing stuff. It's your choice, it's your van, it's your kit. So there's your visualization. So what I want to do now is get the kit out and start filling this up. I'm not going to take you longer, but the engineers helped me out here. But you know, it didn't take that long. It was just thinking it through. Remember, bottom shelf, middle shelf, top shelf, front and back. Because these back shelves, boxes rather, have got no handle on, because that's what you pull out with a stick. So we have all our fast moving items at the front. Diverters, pumps here on the middle shelf, on the bottom shelf, controls, switches, all the fast moving items here. There's one box there, it's virtually empty. That just shows us there's a space. This is interesting though. This engineer's got a circuit board in here. Now, I know fine well one of the guys last week when he did his changeover, the circuit board went in the side. We haven't come to the sides yet, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. Because then he had the separators in there so you could get loads of loose components in there, because the circuit board kind of takes up the whole tray. And different parts of the country, you're going to have different parts. So it's actually up to you. There's no prescription on exactly what you've got to put in here. It's down to you. Fast moving at the front, infrequent at the back. And the really nice thing about this as well is, on the door, right, you've got a little chart which mirrors this. So as you're going to load the vehicle, you can write in the box where it is. And here at the top, then the ladders. The totes at the bottom, all the big tools are in here. Nailing pad, nice and safe and clean. All the tapping sticks, the saws, all the big parts are in here. Vacuum, bag of valves, and there's even some space left at the front. So it's done with one box virtually empty. But one point I want to make here is, remember, bottom, middle, top. On the bottom one, there's very little room from the top of the box to the shelf. On the middle one, there's a little bit more, and on the top one, there's a lot more. So this here, we've kind of overfilled it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade that one out, and I'm going to stick this one in. So I'm going to bring these valves, these pumps rather, to the front, and then I'm going to stick this one in here, because I've got that little more room. That'll smooth in nicely. That's got it. So we're actually good now to get this in the back of the van. So there we are. All of that stuff there that was laid out is now in here. But even if I was a stranger at this vehicle, that tells me everything, because now at the bottom middle drawer should be timers and stats. Let's have a look. Spot on. Timers and stats. Next to that is the hives. Perfect. But can I just take it back to the beginning? Remember when I said one of the biggest risks to you is the lifting and handling? Can I just give you a quick tip? And I tell you what, this works no matter where you're lifting at work or at home. One of the biggest problems to us is the body doesn't tell us each time we lift wrong. So if you're lifting wrong, the pressure's going on the body, it and nobody else is telling us, that can build up and give us pain. And one of the biggest risks is picking things up, what we call outside base. The base is the distance between your feet. So what we've got to avoid is picking anything up in front of the front foot or feet. See, the minute I do that, whatever that weight is, double it, and that's the minimum pressure that goes on your back. And I've seen it happen to just go, right, I want that one now. So it's double the weight and twisting. That's going to put pressure on the body we don't need. The solution, it's a doddle. Just get your foot down the side. So it's in between your feet, over your base, and then you're only picking up the actual weight. And this was the whole concept of this, the science behind it, to take the pressure off the body. Because all you ever do now is, you'll only ever need to move 2 of these boxes. Because if I wanted, third one back, the consumables, this is when we use this, those 2 go there. And that's why we don't want anything coming past that line, because these boxes go there. So after the very initial loading or transferring of this van, none of these boxes should ever go on the floor. Because we say, put one down there, get this out and go and trip over the very box, or you're on first name terms with the ground. It's not healthy, honest. So never ever need to go on the floor ever again. A little tip with this as well, when you get it onto the top of the box, so it goes over the lip of the box, bring it upright like that, and then pull it nice and straight. And there's my consumables. So get them back in, get them back in, get that back up, and we have a wing here for the longer items. So what have we got in here? The immersion heater, some of the test kit, but you can access this wing here from both the back and the side, and we now could start talking about what's in the side. So here we are. Well, look, another part of an empty shelf there, that's the wing. But here you've got fabulous visibility. Toolbox, socket set, we've got a little divider box there with all the washers in, your benders down here. And we don't need an extra tray. Some people said, what about getting an extra 2 trays in there? The trouble is, you're starting to bend and reach in, you're putting your hand in, you're bashing the knuckles, scratching, cutting the hands. There's no need. That just shows you everything that you've got. And you've even got a push through. Oh, I must mention, you've got the USB charger points up here as well. But the great thing here, it's a push through. So you can actually push anything through, and you can see through straight to the other side. I will admit we have taken one little bag out of there so you can actually see me. We'll put it back in a minute. But can I just emphasise that when I said toolbox, I said toolbox, not boxes, as in plural. Just another point, we have this strap here for the side ladders at the front. Yeah, you've got the one at the back to stop them coming out, but you don't want them rattling around. It's another good point to remember, as a driver, you are responsible for the load. But what's fantastic about this is this actually engineer, right? He's been working with us for the beginning, and he's been operating with this now for 6 months. We've got space here. We've got an empty box. We've got openness, visibility, everything comes to you. And it hasn't had one bit of detrimental impact on the service he has been delivering to the customers. Cracking in my eyes. Oh, I'll tell you what was even better. The fact that when we did the first changeover, this is no word of a lie, right? You know those clear bags for rubbish? There was over 10, I think it was 12 of rubbish, waste and materials he didn't need to carry. Nearly 12 of them. That's no mistake. And then we were asked, all right, then where are you going to put this? I mean, okay, we only got 13 of these boiler covers in the whole of last year throughout the company, but yeah, it's an issue. So what's going to happen is when you get these delivered, there's going to be like a little portable roof rack come with it. So it doesn't take long to say, I'm kidding, man. Can you imagine? It actually fits in. And the heat exchange, they fit in. Look. Let's get that door back around there so you can see. This. I'll stick that tray up there, and I'll stick this round in the side door. Well, not in this size, it's not going to fit in, but have you seen how much packaging and space is in here? Look at it all. So what we'll do is we'll get this cover off from here, and we turn it up this way so we make sure we're protecting the face of it, I'm actually going to put it in that way because then it won't push this plastic coating off it. Get that into there like that, and it's in. Then you can actually rip some of this stuff off here. And you can actually put the packaging down at the sides to stop it and get some more down there. And then, let's see, we get all that packaging, we've got a little bit surplus, there's loads of spaces to put this, but let's get it safe. Then we'll do this, we'll get the bottom of this box open, because you're going to need this box, aren't you, when you get back for putting the old boiler cover in. This can go down the side there, it can go up on the top. That's how universal this van is. We can get all the stuff in, and remember, only 13 of them all last year. So, we're talking about a little bit of messing about here, aren't we? But what a vehicle to drive. It's a fabulous drive. It looks the part. It looks professional, as I say, which represents the job you do. Everything comes to you, so we're taking pressure off the body. But in the handover, just work with your manager. Have you got the time? Have you got the right place to do it? And then when you're doing it, getting it all labelled up, be honest with yourself. Do I really need that? Because if we spend that little bit of time setting it up, it's going to make life so easy when you're on the job. Because a couple of the guys have got right at the end and gone, oh, I've had enough now. It's getting dark, it's about to rain, and just chuck it all in the tote boxes. They've never got it sorted out. Do it right the first time. And can you imagine how easy the next changeover is going to be? 10 minutes. Then you're going to have loads of time for a bacon buddy and a cup of tea. And talking of which, I'm going to go and get one now. See ya. Be safe.